choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giant star defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, a no-show for the start of the offseason training program today. Lawrence wants a new contract as well as a one-way ticket out of New York. He's requested a trade. Coach John Harbaugh told reporters he thinks the team will be able to work out a solution to keep him on the roster. If not, the Giants' phones will be busy, explains ESPN's Adam Schefter.
I don't think they're going to want to trade him, but they're going to be in a tough spot, and we'll see how they decide to handle it, because obviously I don't think he would have gone public with that if he wasn't kind of at the end of his rope. And I can tell you this, I do know that there are teams plotting it out already and circling to see whether there's a way that they'd be able to pry him loose from New York.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. North Carolina set to pay new men's head basketball coach Michael Malone a yearly average of more than $8.3 million per year across a 6-year contract that would put him among the top 5 highest paid coaches in the sport. NBA LeBron James foot issue out for the Lakers versus the Thunder tonight. LA's already without the injured Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. OKC's Jalen Williams is out due to hamstring injury management.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, Shefty told us that the Ravens want to get a deal done with Lamar. I'll tell you why it needs to happen before training camp. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomlin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shay Dixon in 15 minutes from right now. Get a check in on Clemson next hour. Baseball Tigers back on the diamond tonight. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Football Tigers are 7 practices in, 7 of their 15 spring workouts in the books. There was media availability here on Tuesday. Lane Kiffin met with reporters afterwards. I'll start with, I guess, what is the most newsworthy item, just sort of as a note here to begin. No Sam Leavitt. If you noticed, Leavitt did post on his Instagram story Monday night that he had a procedure. I tweeted about this. He had the pins removed from his foot from the original surgery that he had in October for the Lisfranc injury. So this was, I guess, as expected, according to Lane Kiffin, who kind of gave the update on Sam Leavitt. It's number 2.
None of these are surprise. This is the timeline we expected, and had the screw removed yesterday, and everything went well. It was something that going into it we were going to know that it was going to be unfortunate. He was going to miss spring a lot of it, but that was going to allow the other guys opportunities. And just feel nowadays, it's a little easier to play quarterback than it used to be years ago as far as how long you've been there. And look at the previous place we were at. The guy didn't get there till the summer. So, kind of that went into the decision where I feel like years ago you've been really concerned that the quarterback's going to miss your spring. He's done a great job mentally in the meetings and walkthroughs and able to throw some individual before this procedure.
Lane Kiffin's way smarter than me. He's coached way higher level football than me. I am concerned that you don't have your quarterback for spring. It's a new quarterback. It's a new offense. It's a new system. Lane's talked about the importance of the quarterback in this system, comparing it to the point guard. You would rather have your quarterback than not. similarly, he's right. Trinidad Chambliss didn't show up at Ole Miss until June. I could also go back to 2018 when Joe Burrow showed up at LSU in June, and he wasn't really, really good until November of that year. So lots of different ways it can go, but you are talking about a very experienced player in Sam Leavitt. So Leavitt was not out there today. Lane also said they do not expect to have him the rest of spring. He's on crutches right now. So that meant Landon Clark, Huson Longstreet, Emil Picarello will be your three quarterbacks the rest of the way. If you have heard our practice reports before this, we get to see 5 periods. It's 5-minute periods. So we get 25 minutes. The first period when they come outside that we get to see is an 11-on-11 period. And they call it, Jakeem Jackson was in our studio last week, said they call that quick 6. So it's 6 snaps. 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s, happening simultaneously on different fields. Of note today, the big change, I guess, would be at left guard. The first team offensive line had been the same up until this point with Seaton, Harper, Moore, Baugh, Davis. That had been your first team offensive line. The change on Tuesday was at left guard, Devin Harper went with the 2s, and Bo Bordelon, fifth-year senior, went with the 1s at left guard. So that was the notable change. Your second team offensive line, you had Harper was at left guard, but at left tackle, Bryson Martinez continues to work there at second team left tackle. Devin Harper was at left guard. William Satterwhite, the Tennessee transfer, was the second team center. Jaquan Sprinkle from NC Central was at right guard. And Darren Stray, the transfer from Kentucky, working at second team right tackle. So those were your first and second offensive lines. We've also kind of been charting interior defensive tackle because that's really the only spot where we've seen turnover defensively among the 1s. And today, the 2 defensive tackles working with the 1s were Deuce Gerald and Malik Blockton. Of course, Gerald's the freshman, Blockton the Auburn transfer. Of the 6 plays that we got to see, first down was a completed pass to Winnie Watkins. He was lined up on the right side of the formation, came across the formation to the left, shallow cross, caught for about 10 yards. Second play was a quarterback draw where Landon Clark faked to the right and then just took off up the middle. It was a design quarterback run. So one of the interesting things that we're definitely seeing is you're going to see these quarterbacks run. It's just obviously a part of this offense. Design runs, moving the pocket, just getting the quarterbacks on the move. Last week, one of the practices we were at, we saw these quarterbacks just doing designed run drills in one of the individual periods. So it was a middle draw by Landon Clark. Third play was interesting. It was a sideline route complete to Malik Elzy on the right side. Elzy wears number 88. He's the transfer from Illinois. He's a big-bodied receiver, about 10 yards downfield on the sideline, spun, cut back toward the field. It was a nice pitch and catch there. Then they ran 2 running plays. They ran a toss to Caden Durham. It was just a straight toss to the right around right end to Caden Durham for a few yards. Then it was a dive the middle, so a handoff up the middle to Caden Durham for a couple of yards. The last play was I thought was probably the best defensive play for LSU. And Deuce Gerald, who was lined up as the freshman interior defensive lineman, was lined up on the left side at left defensive tackle, right, the right side of the offensive line. Blockton was to his right. Well, Blockton gets upfield, and Gerald's loops around Blockton to his right, gets his hands up, and knocks the pass down. It was intended for Caden Durham. So really nice play there by Gerald, who is not big. Gerald's is 6 foot. I think they have him listed at 6 foot 270. So he's not. He very reminiscent of Bernard Gooden from a year ago, a smaller interior defensive lineman, but man, is he active. He is active, quick first step, and he is disruptive. So for a guy that is a freshman early enrollee, already taking reps with the 1s, and already making his presence felt, it's a pretty good sign of things to come. So that was the quick 6. A couple other notes. I thought it was interesting. When they go to their individual groups, so at first the quarterbacks are working with the running backs on handoffs. So it makes sense, right? I mean, quarterbacks and running backs have to work on handoffs. So then the tight ends go with Joe Cox, and then the receivers are in a different part of the field, and they're catching passes. And usually, because all the quarterbacks are running, doing handoff drills with the running backs. So the receivers have to catch the ball. So typically you'll see GAs or something like that throwing the passes to the receivers. And I'm watching the receivers, and I'm going, it's like, man. I was like, the dude can spin it over there. Like, who's that GA? So I grabbed my phone, and you on your camera, you can do like the 5X to zoom in. It's T. Martin. That's like, okay, that explains it. I mean, the dudes are over there. I mean, what a luxury, right? To have your receivers catching passes from a guy that won a national championship and played quarterback in the NFL. So now T's put on a few LBs, okay? He is not little in the middle. T. Martin, yeah, the scale has been friendlier to him in the past. But it was cool. It was cool to watch him spin it. The only thing of note, whenever the quarterbacks and the receivers came together, Jackson Harris did have a drop. It's the only drop I charted. I didn't chart every single rep because I stand between two fields, and I'm trying to watch the offense on one field, defense on another. So I'm kind of going back and forth, seeing what I can see and note and take down notes. So it was the only. I'm not trying to single out Jackson Harris. So there were probably others. It's just the one that I saw today. And I also thought it was interesting on the defensive field. There were four individual periods, right? We saw that 11-11 period and then the next 4 periods. In each of the 4 periods, Blake Baker worked with a different group. So, like, he worked with P.J. Woodland and Aiden Anding. So those are your nickels. Worked with 2 players. So your defensive coordinator, during one of the periods, worked with 2 players. In the next period, he worked with all the safeties. And then he worked with Spears, Jim Coyley, and Aiden Hall, who are all star linebackers. So he went nickel, safety, star, and then the 4th period he worked with the entire second. They did like a secondary shell drill, no line, no linebackers, just the secondary line working on coverages. And Baker was the quarterback, effectively running the entire drill. So Baker, it's pretty clear they're moving him around a ton. I actually asked Lane Kiffin about that. He said it's intentional. He wants Baker to communicate with all the players because of in-game communication, allows Chris Kiffin to stick with the linebackers. So it's allowing Blake Baker to be more versatile and work with every position group. So it was interesting to really pay attention to that today. Atreides was in a gold no-contact jersey, as was Malachi Thomas, the tight end from Pitt. Both were doing everything when we were out there, but just one other thing of note. All right, if you want to get your practice report, you can get it at LouisianaSports.net. Hunt always writes up. We pool all of our notes so you can see a full practice report, always free over at LouisianaSports.net. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. The official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Baseball at the Box returns tonight. LSU against Bethune-Cookman. If you're going to be out at the Box, make sure you drink plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Few things better than an ice-cold Bud Light, bag of peanuts, and a ball game. You can enjoy that tonight out at Alec Box Stadium. Or, of course, at your home, stock the fridge. Or if you're heading out to your favorite restaurant or watering hole, ask for it by name. The delicious taste, great tasting Bud Light, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Shay Dixon, who was out at practice, joins us every Tuesday, talk a little recruiting. There were a few recruits out there at practice today. I want to get Shay's thoughts on that. And also, the basketball transfer portal window opens today. So we'll get an update on that with Shady as we continue. We're glad you're here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
What a beautiful time of year. What a beautiful time of year and a great time to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, you know where they are. Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local and just plant something, y'all. I mean, every single day they've got new shipments arriving. This post was just 53 minutes ago on their Facebook page. A beautiful selection of lilies that arrived today at Clegg's. So get on by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. If it's beautiful lilies or other spring flowers that you want to add that pop of color to your flower bed, your patio pots, they can help you. You want to plant that fall or that vegetable garden, Clegg's can help you do that as well. If you need mulch or soil, bag, bulk, or you need all the things to keep the pests away, mosquito repellent, the Aeon mosquito eradicator, ant ant killer, bug spray. They got it all at Clegg's Nursery.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, glad you're with us here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. We're powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Shay Dixon will join us here, scheduled to join us here in just a quick second. National championship game was last night. The Michigan Wolverines win the Natty. That's after UCLA won the women's basketball national championship, which is after Indiana won the football national championship, which is after Ohio State won last year's football national championship, which is after Michigan won the national championship the year before, which means, the Big Ten is kind of wrecking stuff right now. And I know nobody likes to hear that, but the reality is, in this era right now, in this portal NIL era, the Big Ten is winning. And you can rest on your laurels of what the SEC was for 2 decades, really dominating college football in the BCS and then into the 4-team college football playoff era. But the bottom line is the results are what they are. And I get it. Florida won the basketball title a year ago, which is great for the SEC. And you can tell me all you want about baseball. And you know I love college baseball, and the SEC is the best baseball league. But when you're talking about the revenue-generating sports, which there are 2, it's football and men's basketball, like, the Big Ten is winning. There's no way around that. So whether it's level of buy-in, which I think there's plenty in the SEC, whether it's hitting on the portal or having the right coaches in place. I don't have the answer. What is undeniable, though, is for the same reason and way that the SEC would flex and pound its chest for a better part of 2 decades as the preeminent conference in college athletics, in particular college football, that is now the Big Ten. And nobody wants to hear that. I get it. But you can't argue against the results. So Michigan wins their first national title since 1989 in basketball. And the Big Ten continues rolling. Dusty May, after the national championship game, talked about what it was like to win this title.
When you bring a group this talented together and they decide from the beginning that they're going to do it this way and they never waver and they never change, that's probably the most uncommon thing in athletics now, and it's a tribute to their character, but also those in their circles around them, their coaches, their parents, their mentors. They allowed these guys to give themselves up for the group, and it's never guaranteed, but for these guys to cut down the nets after all they sacrifice is pretty special.
It's going to be interesting to look ahead to next year and what may all come as you turn the page. Of course, for LSU basketball, Will Wade right now is starting to get his team ready and really to build his staff and his team. So there is one confirmed member of Will Wade's staff now, and it's Rick Stansbury. So this had been reported previously, but it is now confirmed by LSU that Rick Stansbury is the first official member of Will Wade's staff. The winningest coach in the history of Mississippi State basketball is now joining LSU as the associate head coach. It's interesting because initially the reports that we had heard was that Stansbury was going to be joining as general manager. And then Will said at his press conference last week he wasn't going to have a general manager. So this isn't a front office position. Rick Stansbury is the associate head coach, meaning he's going to be on Will Wade's bench. So he is going to be the associate head coach and be on the bench coaching the team. There's also been multiple reports about Johnny Jones, something we had heard when Will took the job. There were some initial reports about Jones taking the job, something he refuted that he hadn't yet figured all that out yet. Candidly, we made some calls. We're unable to confirm definitively that it was happening, but that continues now to be reported that Jones is going to join LSU staff as an assistant to Will Wade. My understanding is Johnny's close to retirement and wanted to come back to Louisiana, so it's an opportunity where he's going to give up his head coaching job at Texas Southern and come back to Baton Rouge, be an assistant in a place where he was once head coach, which is just it's odd because we had we did have this conversation loosely about the possibility of Ed Ogeron joining Lane Kiffin's staff as a defensive line coach, and we talked about just sort of the oddity, right, of a guy that was once the head coach at this place coming back as an assistant. Now, Bobby Petrino did that at Arkansas this year, but now Johnny Jones is doing it. He was the head coach at LSU. He was fired as the head coach of LSU, but now he's coming back, it seems, as an assistant. John Rothstein reported. A lot of people are reporting it. LSU has yet to confirm it. And then the other sort of tidbit today, we're going to follow this as the day goes along because the portal window is now officially open for basketball. And we do have the portal tracker up at LouisianaSports.net. If you want to check it out, again, it's always free, everything over at LouisianaSports.net. So what we have so far, the players that have declared their intention to enter the portal, DJ Thomas, Maisie Mosley, Jalen Reed, Matt Gillul, Ron Zipper, Marcus Vaughns. Those are the ones that are entering the portal. And then you have players out of eligibility, right? P.J. Carter, Markel Sutton, Pablo Tamba, Max McKinnon, Rashard King. And then we're going to have to update this because Michael Nwoko also today declared his intention to enter the transfer portal. So LSU's losing another. So if you just look at Thomas, Mosley, Reed, Gillul, Zipper, Vaughns, and then Nwoko, that's 7 that are entering the portal. And then Carter, Sutton, Tamba, McKinnon, King, that's 12. You're going to have a whole new roster. You're going to have a whole new roster next year. I think as we all anticipated they would. What direction they go, what resources they have to spend will be sort of the thing to watch and how Will Wade wants to build his roster. For what it's worth, both DraftKings and FanDuel have put out odds for next year's national championship, naturally with the new national champion being crowned last night with Michigan. So everyone nationally is more looking at, okay, well, who's going to be at the top of that list, where you've got programs like Duke at the top of the list and Michigan, as you'd expect. Duke's at plus 800, Michigan's plus 1,200. Florida, Arizona, Michigan State, Kansas follow, all the usual suspects. The one thing that was interesting was looking at DraftKings and FanDuel. Both give LSU very, very long odds, but they're also very far apart. So DraftKings has LSU at plus 12,000, meaning if you bet $100, you'd win $12,000 if LSU won the national championship. FanDuel still has very long odds at plus 6,500, but not nearly as long as plus 12,000. So anyway, this is where it stands right now for LSU going into this portal window. 7 players announcing their intention to go in the portal. LSU yet to add one. I know some people looking around going, what's Will Wade doing? The portal's open. They haven't signed a roster yet. We're going to wait and see what positions, what players might enter the portal formally. Then, just like with football, remember the portal opened, they almost immediately had visitors coming to campus. And once visitors starting to come to campus is when you started to land commitments. Jackson Harris from Hawaii was the first that LSU landed. And then shortly after that, you added Ty Benefield, the safety, if you remember. And you kept adding players all the way throughout that process, throughout that window, all the way to Jordan Seaton at the very end of the process. So I don't think this all needs to be done in a day. I'm going to be interested to see what type of resource LSU has for basketball to invest in this portal class, because clearly this portal class, this roster is largely going to be made up of a portal class, considering you've effectively lost your entire roster. All right, it's after further review. Shay's supposed to be with us. Don't know what's going on. It's Tuesday at 3:15. Typically, he knows where to be, but I talked to him earlier today. We'll see if we can catch up with Shay maybe in the next segment or sometime later in the show. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Check out our friends at South Point Volkswagen. They're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, southpointvw.com, where they always have great deals going on. Like right now, you can get $2,500 customer bonus on a 2026 Crossport, or 3.9% APR for 60 months. I mean, you're talking about 5 years. 3.9% for 5 years and $2,500 customer bonus. Check it out at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You can shop them online. You can look up all the year, make, model, body style, price, all of it online. Work out your financing online. Safest vehicles on the road. Stylish, style, feel, performance of luxury without the cost. And the best selection you'll find anywhere, because they are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. If you're looking for an SUV, a sedan, or, of course, the ever-popular VW bus, the all-new electric VW bus, you can check it out at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it is after further review. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Visit sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Well, now I got a quick break. Go around the SEC. We'll try to catch up with Shay Dixon. We're going to head up to Clemson, South Carolina in about 33 minutes. As Clemson is wrapped up spring, we're keeping a close eye on Clemson because, of course, LSU is going to open up the 2026 season with Clemson in Tiger Stadium, so it'll be a pretty common talking point throughout the offseason. All right, let me knock out a break. We'll come back and go around the SEC. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, if you're thinking about putting in a pool, if this warm weather and the thought of your family, friends, and neighbors going swimming at their pools making you a little jealous, a little bit of the keeping up with the Joneses, call Duplessis Builders. Or better yet, go to duplessisbuilders.net. Duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. That's the website. And the website's a great starting point because, as far as I know, I don't know anybody else that lets you do this, but you can go to the website and hit the Pick Your Pool tab. They have 11 different pool designs, and you can pick out your design right there. And you can do all the finishes. It's very cool, all 3D imagery. So you can pick out whatever design you like, tiling, coping, all the finishes. Do you want lights? Do you want water features? Pick it all out. It'll build it right there for you on the website. You can pay for it right there on the website, and then boom, you're in the mix. Start that process today. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net. Top 50 pool builder in America. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues, like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun, over by the gate.
I was very unhappy or displeased with the umpire. I didn't think any one of the three pitches were a strike, and the third one sure was not a strike. My mother was very disappointed with some of the language I used, especially on Easter Sunday. That wasn't good.
Jay Johnson on his radio show Monday night. You can get laughs out of it when you win the game, I guess. But Jay was ejected. Listen, I 100% support Jay Johnson getting run from that game. Knowing full well, we talked about it yesterday, I'll just reiterate, you argue balls and strikes, you're getting tossed. That is indisputable. You argue balls and strikes, you get thrown out of the game, period. Kevin Schnall did that for Coastal in the championship in Game 2 of the championship series, got run in the first inning. He's an idiot. Good coach, idiot. You have to, we talked about it at the time. You have to know in the moment it's the first inning of the championship series. Game 2 of the championship series. You cannot go argue balls and strikes ever and expect to stay in the game. So Jay Johnson leaving the dugout to argue balls and strikes and using 12 letters should get him run. But sometimes you have to go, like in basketball, sometimes you got to go get teed up. Like, you got to go let an official know your displeasure. And sometimes it's just an infusion of life and energy into your team, and it certainly worked for Jay Johnson's team on Sunday. So I don't want him to go get run every game. But in that moment, yes, I think it was warranted, justified, and clearly it paid off. Now, in that game, the scary moment came with the collision with Omar Cerna, where he of course was removed from the game afterwards. And Jay Johnson did say Cerna's out Tuesday, but this is Jay explaining that whole injury sequence.
Real time, it was very scary.
Yeah.
Like, it was right in front of our dugout. He got knocked out. Like, his eyes went out immediately. And so we got out there. Isaac Trujillo, our trainer, we went out there, and he kind of came back to consciousness really quick. Now there's a new rule where you can remove a player if you want to evaluate him for a concussion. And that's the only reason you can actually put him back in the game. So obviously that was easily the right thing to do. And then we finished the inning, and then I went back to check on him, and Isaac was like, he's probably not going back in today, which was fine. But he was coherent and talking, and I felt good about that.
If a player is knocked unconscious, the idea of them going back into the game feels ridiculous. I was actually watching on Saturday. I was watching UFC Fight Card, and there was a moment. You probably weren't watching. It's fine, but there was a moment where a fighter was grounded, and you can't strike to the head if a fighter is grounded. I mean, they're touching to the mat, and this fighter was grounded, got kicked. Incidentally, it was meant to be a body kick. It grazed her in the chin and knocked her unconscious. Well, they deducted a point, but let the fighter continue once she came back to consciousness, which to me is, and I love the sport, it's absurd. Like, if you were knocked unconscious, you have a concussion. I mean, like, for all we've talked about concussions and CTE and everything, it's very serious. Omar Cerna, Jay's saying there they saw him go unconscious, there's no way he should have even contemplated continuing, even if you've come back too. Like, the risk of recurrence is way too high. So they absolutely made the right decision there. And you got to see Eddie Yaman play. And Yaman ended up getting a couple of knocks. And the question was asked of Jay, do you think we'll see more of Eddie Yaman moving forward?
Direct answer is absolutely yes. You know, he's too many more games, but like watching the few innings on TV yesterday, it kind of gives you a different perspective. I was able to watch all the hitters, like body language and demeanor, and I thought he was really locked in. He was showing like, hey, I'm an older player. I'm in control of myself, even though I haven't got a lot of at-bats. And then came through with a couple big at-bats. They're getting hit by the pitch that started the big inning. And then later on in the same inning coming up and hitting a 2 RBI double. And even the at-bat that he struck out with the bases loaded and there, he looked locked in. And he caught very well. I mean, I really want to give it to him. Like, he's really improved in his time here as a catcher. And that's great to see, especially when, both catchers have been nicked up a little bit.
Remember, Yaman started his career, played 2 seasons at Dayton, redshirted last year at LSU, did not see game action. So now this is his first time playing at LSU, but he's a fourth-year player. So he is an older, more veteran player. I had a lot of people ask, should Yaman get more playing time after Sunday? And I guess my point is, like, maybe. And 2 for 5 on Sunday was great, and he did catch well. He also didn't have a hit since the Creighton game on March the 10th. Those were his first hits in SEC play. So we've seen a lot of not great from Eddie Yaman up until this point in the season. Limited sample size, albeit a limited sample size. But he had a 2-hit game against Northeastern. Aside from that 2-hit game against Northeastern, he had the 1 hit against Creighton and didn't have a hit in any other outing until Sunday when he got the 2 hits. So maybe it's one of those things where he's got to go get 12, 15 at-bats in a weekend to feel comfortable and produce. I understand he had just 5 at-bats on Sunday, but maybe it's one of those things where he needs more volume to get comfortable. Or maybe that was just a one-off where the day he had at Tennessee isn't going to be the norm for him. And I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is I keep looking at guys with high ceiling and wanting to get those guys reps to maximize their opportunity. And that's where you look at Cerna and Aaron Beatty for obvious reasons. I mean, Aaron Beatty homered 4 times on Sunday. When we talk about skill set ceiling, that's pretty impressive. I'm not saying Aaron Beatty is going to go have multi-homer games ever again, but you know what's in there, right? And with Omar Cerna, similarly, he's struggled in conference play. His batting average is hovering around 250 in SEC play. But the bottom line is, with Cerna, he's got this mega ceiling. So you go get him another 100 at-bats against SEC pitching. He keeps getting more comfortable. That production should, in theory, follow. So that's why I just kind of keep leaning towards wanting to play the talented guys that you've recruited with a super high ceiling over some of the transfers who you added because they're veteran players that have college experience but maybe a lower ceiling, if that makes sense. Like, I can't help but look at, we talked about this a little bit. I mean, you look at a guy like Costello, who was here a year ago, was here for a season, didn't play, transfers. Now he's at Maryland, and he's clubbed 13 homers this year, playing first base. Like, he's hitting 260-ish, but he's got 13 homers. Would you take 260 with 13 homers from York right now? I would. I mean, look at Mikey Ryan. All the struggles LSU's had finding a consistent second baseman. Mikey Ryan's starting at NC State right now. He's their everyday second baseman. Like, would you rather that kid with 3 years of eligibility after last season to continue to grow and develop? Guy would give his arm to play at LSU and is super talented, just did play a bunch as a freshman? I mean, I would. It's easy to say with the benefit of hindsight now. But I'm just curious if that maybe isn't a path that Jay starts to follow a little bit more. Like, instead of seeing so much turnover, if you're going to invest the resources into recruiting these elite-level high school players to get them to campus, don't let them walk after 1 year because they don't play. You commit to those guys maybe instead. If you can go add an elite-level transfer, you do it. I mean, you can go add Tommy White, you do it 100 times out of 100. You can add Paul Skeens, you can go add Gage Jump, you do it 100 times out of 100. But I guess more I'm talking about like that second tier of transfer is maybe where you have to decide, yeah, that person has more college experience, but the young guy that we recruited has a super high ceiling, and maybe it's more about roster retention with some of those guys. Again, this is a conversation we'll have after the season, but just something to consider. And anyway, in any event, we'll see what type of opportunities out there for Eddie Yaman. Look, Cerna is not going to play on Tuesday. Jay said that, so it would stand to reason that you're going to see Yaman in there. Even if he doesn't start, he'll be in there in summer. Maybe Yaman catches and Aaron Beatty DHs, or you flip him, or however that may go. But yeah, I would fully expect that you'll see Yaman in some capacity in this game today. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. You know where they are, parishrestoration.com. Man, they do awesome work. They come spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. Go through that, patented. Nobody else can do it. Non-toxic, safe for family, pets, plants, everything. Dry fog, meaning that it's a dry fog. You don't have to worry about it messing up your furniture or your carpet or your drywall, your sheetrock, any of that stuff. It's easy, it's effective, it's cost-effective, and it's efficient. It's Parish Restoration. It's for your home, office, church, school, doctor's office. You want to get rid of toxic mold, other harmful pathogens, sanitize. Maybe get rid of odor. You can do that as well. And eliminate all the bacteria that causes odor. It's Parish Restoration. parishrestoration.com. parishrestoration.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Hogs added defensive back Zacharias Huzzy out of LaGrange, Georgia. He's their second commit for the class of 2027. Picked Arkansas over App State, Florida Atlantic, South Florida, Troy, and FIU. 6'1", 175. He's a 3-star, the number 95 cornerback in the country.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
LeBaron Philon has declared for the 2026 NBA Draft, widely expected. He was a third-team All-American by several of the outlets. He's number 13 in the CBS Sports Player ranking. He's number 21 in the ESPN Draft rankings. He was a centerpiece this year, led the team at 22 points per game.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Starting guard Jordan Ross will enter the transfer portal, 6'3", 195. He'll have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's the 5th Georgia player to announce his intention of transferring. He was Georgia's starting point guard for much of this season, really since mid-February. Played in 32 games with 25 starts.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Andrea Jalovic has become the latest Kentucky Wildcat to enter the transfer portal. his agent gave the news to Jonathan Givony from Draft Express. Sophomore by rule, but spent one season at Kentucky, so it's his first in collegiate basketball. He joined Kentucky's starting group, averaging 5 points and 47% from the field.
The Missouri Tigers.
And Mizzou starting guard T.O. Barrett is entering the transfer portal as well. Posted the news on social media. Had a breakout season this year after Dennis Gates moved Barrett into the starting lineup after 19 games into the season. As a starter, he averaged 12, 3, and 3 for the Missouri Tigers. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Last week, they had the grand opening at the new store, the Piku location in Baton Rouge. If you're on I-10 between Highland and Seagan in Baton Rouge, that's where the new Piku exit is, and you can't miss it. So if you're heading on I-10 west, right from Highland, like towards Seagan, if you're on west, just look to your right, and you'll see it. I mean, they've cleared all the trees and everything, right? It's just a giant, beautiful building right there. That's the latest Sunshine. Yep, they got all your farm equipment. They also got zero-turn mowers. They got gators. They've got your tailgating gear. If you need that portable generator, they got them there as well. Sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Remember, you can email us, tweet us, or text. Text me, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. You can always text our station line as well. That's 225-499-1045. And that number is good for all of our shows here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. So Off the Bench, Live at Lunch, Hunt Palmer Show, and AFR. So you can always feel free to hit us up there if you want to text the show, 225-499-1045, 499-1045. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break, wrap up hour number one. Big get for Kim Mulkey. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Can't believe we got this little cold snap. I mean, to wake up today to 48 degrees was just disgusting. In April. But it's bought you a little time to call River City's 1 Hour Air for your preseason AC tune-up. If you can't remember the last time you did your preseason AC tune-up, you're overdue because you should do this literally every year. It's standard seasonal maintenance that you should make it a point to do every single year. And they'll save you money. Mention the Moscona special, mention the show. They're going to knock $30 off the price of that tune-up. But I would recommend you do what I did, which is join their membership club, and the seasonal maintenance is complimentary. So you join the membership club, you get membership pricing for all repairs, front-of-the-line service if you have an issue, and the complimentary seasonal maintenance in the winter and the summer. So call River City's 1 Hour Air and look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
When it comes to industrial construction, a River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient. And the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1, and glad you're aboard with us here. Kim Mulkey got some phenomenal news on Monday night. One of the top 10 players in the country, on the eve of the portal opening, Oak Grove 5-star center Caroline Bradley committed to LSU. She had offers from, again, top 10 player in the country. She had offers from everywhere, UCLA, South Carolina, and everything in between. Averaged 27 points a game as a junior this past season. Scored 38 of her team's 43 points in the state championship game. One that Oak Grove narrowly lost to Oakdale back last month. So latest 5-star commitment for Kim Mulkey, the first from Louisiana since Michaela Williams committed from Parkway 3 years ago. I think this is significant for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's a player from Louisiana and a 5-star and one that you wanted to get. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I watch a ton of women's college basketball. I don't. I'm a fan of the LSU program, and it's a lot of fun when they get hot in March and they go on a deep run, and we all want to see them win championships. One thing that seems very obvious and very consistent in that sport is dominant bigs win. I mean, we all know who Lauren Betts is. She won a national championship at UCLA. LSU's lone national championship came with Angel Reese, dominating the paint. Guard play is awesome, and I think guard play in March is critical for the men's game. But in men's college basketball, everyone has a big. Like, everyone has an athletic big man. You just don't have as many female humans that are 6'5", 6'6", that are super athletic, and that it's just a much rarer thing, which is why when you stumble across a dominant big in women's college basketball, they're hell to deal with. And so if you find one, get her. If you find a dominant big, get a dominant big, and let her go wreck stuff. I'm way oversimplifying this, but like, guard play is great, and it's fun, and you love it. I'm not trying to minimize Caitlin Clark, but she's probably the greatest women's basketball player we've seen in a generation. She's certainly been the most impactful as far as attention on the game. She didn't win at Iowa. They won a lot of games. They won a championship at Iowa. Why? Because they ran into dominant bigs. They could match. So, in any event, Caroline Bradley commits to LSU, and Kim Mulkey out of Oak Grove, 5-star, best center in the country. I think it's really significant for Kim in the march toward hopefully getting back to a Final Four and back to another championship. Hey, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters too. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do shutters and shades. Remember those roller shades that they have? It's a new product that they're offering over at Relief Windows. Those roller shades are beautiful. They're custom-made for the exact specification of your home. It can light control and help climate control your home. So check them out. Maybe you want those blackout shades so light from outside isn't getting in at night or in the early morning hours. You don't want the sunlight beating through your bedroom door, your kitchen, whatever it may be. Relief Windows can help. Everything is custom made for the specifications of your home, and they always specialize in customer satisfaction. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Give them a shout. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. If you missed it, we opened up the show today with our LSU football practice report. Well, after practice, Lane Kiffin met with reporters. So I do want to get through, in pieces of the next 2 hours of the show, a lot of what Lane had to say, including not only his update on Sam Leavitt, but why he feels like the defense right now is far outpacing the offense. And in particular, he talked about the importance of some of the young the interior defensive linemen, namely Richard Anderson. I want to talk about why I think that's significant, because as LSU went and remade this roster through the signing class and the transfer portal, the one spot where they really didn't address it with numbers is the defensive line. And so they're going to be counting on a few guys to be great. And I'm curious how that's going to go. We'll give you some color and context to that as we move throughout the show. So we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. All right, buckle up. It's AFR presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sports Center's coming up. We'll get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, we're heading up to Clemson, South Carolina to check in on the Tigers.
After Further Review.
Tuesday, Supper Club is back open. My goodness, lucky, lucky, lucky you. And lucky me and lucky all of us. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com. But you don't need a reservation to go to Supper Club. As I remind you all the time, open seating at the bar. 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables, first come, first serve. So you knock off of work, you want to call your significant other, say, hey, don't cook tonight. We're going to Supper Club. Meet me. I'll walk in, grab a couple of bar stools. Maybe there's a bar table open. Maybe you're lucky there's even a table in the dining room open. Maybe you get lucky on a Tuesday night. Whatever you do, get on by Supper Club, because whatever you have at Supper Club is going to be the greatest of that thing that you have anywhere. If it's steak, if it's scallops, if it's the Chilean sea bass or the Ora King salmon, if you're into seafood, maybe you want the lamb chops, which are the lamb lollipops are amazing. And I've told you so much about the veal parm, which might very well be my favorite thing on the menu. Top it off with some butter cake or creme brulee. Supper Club. Get your reservation today. SupperClubBTR.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you.
Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giants defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, looking for a new contract, has requested a trade. Skipped the start of the team's offseason workout program today. New York will try to continue to work things through with Lawrence's agent and find a solution to keep him on the roster, according to Coach John Harbaugh.
Speaking for the Giants, we want Dexter here, and I believe Dexter wants to be here. You know, that's a good formula. But there's business involved. It's a business proposition. We know it's pro football. And these things happen every year, pretty much on every team. So not surprised by it.
North Carolina is set to pay new head basketball coach Michael Malone a yearly average of more than $8.3 million across a 6-year contract. It'll make him among the 5 highest paid coaches in the sport. NBA, another big name missing from the Lakers lineup tonight. LeBron James out against OKC with a foot issue. LA already without the injured Luka Doncic. And Austin Reeves is 4th in the Western Conference, a half game back of Denver. Baseball, Cubs starting pitcher Cade Horton set for season-ending surgery on his right elbow.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, Shefty told us that the Ravens want to get a deal done with Lamar. I'll tell you why it needs to happen before training camp. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. LSU will welcome Clemson in, like 8 months from now. But still great time to talk about it. Clemson wrapped up spring football, and, of course, with LSU and Clemson set to meet in Tiger Stadium this year to open the season. It'll be interesting seeing how Dabo's squad handles the offseason. It's a pivotal one with a lot of turnover. John Blau was good enough to join us as we previewed this past year's season opener. He's going to have to hang out with us here as Clemson has ended spring practice. Hey, John, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
Good. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing really well, man. We appreciate the time. Okay, so coming out of spring, what's the general temperature there in Clemson around the program?
I mean, I think every spring ball or every program feels like they're good or going to be better or whatever. But, yeah, a lot of questions with Clemson, obviously coming off of that 7-6 season, and some questions in some really important positions, quarterback being, the number one issue at hand. Still, Christopher Vezina, who's had limited playing time, was good against SMU, but that was the worst pass defense in college football. In kind of mop-up duty, not great. He's still now in the pole position to be the quarterback. But there's a freshman, Tate Reynolds, who Dabo Swinney says is among the two-man race now to be the starting quarterback. So the focus on those guys, that kind of offers some clarity. I think fans are excited about that. But still a lot of question marks across the board, especially in the trenches. They just have so much turnover from those positions coming from last year into this next season.
What do we know about Chris Vezina, assuming he does end up winning the starting job at quarterback?
Hey, we don't know a whole lot. That's the thing. Obviously, an Elite 11 guy as a recruit, definitely a guy that Clemson had high hopes for, still has high hopes for. They didn't even take a quarterback in the cycle after Vizina in 2024 and just said, hey, we're basically redshirting you. Obviously going to sit behind, Cade Klubnik for 3 years, and you're going to be the guy, Cade leaves. And just, again, this hasn't been that dynamic in the time that he's had. Obviously, a lot of it's in mop-up duty against backups, and a guy that seems to have a decent arm. Obviously, he was an Elite 11 guy. Dabo has told us, and we've seen some evidence of it, that he's probably a better runner than people think. 6'4", 215. But again, we haven't seen consistently, in big time moments. Obviously, again, going to a place like a LSU to start a season. Is he going to be able to make the throws, be decisive, all of that? We haven't seen that enough yet. So it's just a lot of questions. And obviously, for the Clemson fan base, a lot of anxieties just because quarterback with DJ Uiagalelei and Cade Klubnik, just a lot of ups and downs over the last, 4 or 5 years since Trevor Lawrence left Clemson.
John, it's interesting. I remember last year before the season, looking at the preseason ACC All-Conference team, and 11 of the 22 first-teamers were Clemson players, like half of the preseason All-Conference team. So a lot of those guys are gone. Where or what position group took the biggest hit due to the departures?
Yeah, that's another interesting question because, you would think maybe defensive line because Peter Woods and TJ Parker are guys that people are talking about as potential first-round picks, somewhat polarizing, again, in terms of their production. But they've replaced with some guys. Marcus Strong, from Oklahoma came over. They brought in a few others. They seem to have solidified that depth, but I think offensive line might be the biggest. Obviously, Blake Miller at right tackle was a stalwart for 4 years. He's a potential first-round pick. He's gone, so what are you doing there? Their left tackle, Tristan Lee, was a multi-year starter as well. At center, they had a multi-year starter, and now it's just a bunch of new guys. And they're very excited about Braden Jacobs, who's the son of Brandon Jacobs, the running back for the New York Giants. His son is bigger than him. He's like 6'8" and 350 pounds. At left tackle, he's a monster. But he hasn't played a full season yet. He got hurt towards the end of last year, his true freshman season. Easton Ware is the guy they're talking about at right tackle. He's the guy who redshirted all of last year with an injury. You talk about Harris Sewell, who was a guard. They're going to move him into center. And he's a guy who's had some ups and downs in his career, was a top 100 prospect coming out of high school, but again, ups and downs. And so, just a lot of moving pieces and haven't really seen it come together yet. There's a lot of potential there. Everybody's been really excited about Matt Luke and some of the recruiting he's done there. Definitely maybe more athletic, maybe stronger potentially, but we just haven't seen it. So offensive line, I think, is the one position that we're still trying to figure out kind of where Clemson stands.
Forgot about Matt Luke, the former Ole Miss head coach who's now there at Clemson. Is there any other notable staff changes there at Clemson?
Yeah, so obviously offensive coordinator, not sure if we talked about that yet, but obviously Chad Morris coming back to be the guy. He was from 2011 to 2014, the guy who really kind of built that offense and ended up winning some national championships, a little bit of a out-of-the-box hire, obviously, by Dabo, bringing a guy who actually hadn't been a coordinator in a handful of years since Auburn in 2020. And so kind of redoing that again. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Clemson had a ton of coverage busts last year. And so they no longer had their safeties coach, Mickey Kahn. He went to Samford as a defensive coordinator. And now Tom Allen's son, Thomas, is kind of the pass game coordinator. And so they're hoping to shore that up. They shored that up through the transfer portal with a couple of guys at safety. They feel better about all of that, but that's going to be something to watch as well in terms of how those new defensive coaches kind of get that unit executing at a higher level. Last year, it really did not execute at the level that Clemson would like, for sure.
John Blau is with us at John_Blau, JON_BLAU, Post and Courier, covers Clemson if you want to give him a follow. Good follow, obviously, with the LSU opening of the Clemson again this year. I I'm a little surprised, John, that we're focusing so much on the offensive side of the ball, but I guess it's where we'll keep going. What about playmakers? Any playmakers emerge here in this spring?
Yeah, Chris Johnson Jr., and I always have to emphasize with people, he is not CJ2K's son, because they're both running backs, and they're both really fast. But, Clemson got Chris Johnson Jr. from SMU, one of the fastest players in his position in college football. He's been an interesting guy to kind of monitor. I guess obviously spring ball's done for Clemson now, but a guy that they're really excited about just because of his breakaway ability. He was a little slight coming in at about 6 foot, 184, but he's put on a few pounds. He's kind of toughened himself up to maybe be a guy you can use a little bit more, maybe not even just at running back, but also in the slot. There's been a lot of conversation about moving him around, so he's going to be an interesting piece for Morris to use, trying to get around the edge of defenses, and just a bunch of freshman receivers that actually had to play a lot of snaps this camp because TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, both injured, limited in camp. And so they have a very highly rated group of receivers coming in. Naheem Burrows from Florida. But Gordon Sellers is actually a receiver from the Charlotte area. He's about 6'3", 180, really kind of lanky, rangy. Had a really great touchdown catch in the spring game, basically one-handed back shoulder ball. He's made a lot of plays this spring, and there's been a lot of talk about him. But obviously, again, a lot of the conversation about quarterbacks, and then again, Tate Reynolds, the mid-year enrollee, actually a guy who might play baseball at Clemson at some point too. He really obviously has impressed people with his arm strength, his dual threat ability to be able to make plays with his legs, and so a few names there that have kind of been talked about a lot this spring.
John, the Luke Farrelly situation is the one that garnered all the headlines for obvious reasons with Ole Miss and everything. But are there any portal additions that are notable for this year?
Oh yeah, a ton, and most of those are on the defensive side of the ball. As we were talking about, a huge number of busts in the secondary last year, and so lost a couple of safeties to the transfer portal. Cleo Barnes went to Georgia. Ricardo Jones went to Vandy. They brought in Jerome Carter from Old Dominion and Corey Myrick from Southern Miss. Obviously lower level guys, but very productive players. I think they have something like 180 tackles combined and maybe 8 or 9 interceptions between them last year. And so those are two guys that they've talked really highly of during camp, just in the place they need to be. Very confident, very mature players, kind of solidifying that back end. And maybe the star of spring ball, according to Dabo Sweeney, was Elliott Washington, a corner from Penn State. And so he actually played for Tom Allen at Penn State in 2024. Elliott Washington is a guy who allegedly can run like a 4.3 40. It's just a really fast guy, really confident guy that adds to their corner room. And so they feel much better about the secondary because of what they got in the transfer portal there. Obviously, a linebacker, like you said, Luke Farrelly, didn't come through. There's maybe some questions there because that kind of blew a hole in their plan. But I feel like in all the other spots, they feel pretty good. They added about 8 guys defensively in the transfer portal. So they feel they've got a little bit more depth this year than they did last year.
John, one more, if I could, and it's sort of the big picture question you've probably answered a million times in every conversation you have, and it's about just Dabo and the program. And, I mean, who knew that we were watching a couple of 7-6 teams last year on Labor Day weekend with LSU and Clemson? Certainly didn't feel like it at the time. But where is the fan base, and maybe even more importantly, the administration on Dabo and where they are in the program right now?
Yeah, I mean, it was during the season. I remember that, Dabo, during a press conference, I forget which one it was, maybe post Syracuse or post another game, around that time was saying, hey, Graham Neff, noticed you here in this press conference. It's not often that the AD actually comes to the post-game press conferences and says, hey, Graham might fire me, today or tomorrow. And obviously makes this kind of dark humored joke, but it didn't seem like completely implausible. It was, again, a little weird that the AD was in the room. It never happens. And, Dabo was talking again about, a season that had gone completely off the rails, ends up being 7-6, like we're talking about. And so, yeah, I think there's definitely, if last year was maybe kind of going to be the season that was going to, vindicate Dabo for his not using the portal that much and kind of, homegrown talent and all that. That did not happen. So now you have to, if you're Dabo, again, it's another prove-it season, that 7-6 season was an aberration, and that we did the things we needed to do, especially going to the transfer portal now, to get more guys to be more competitive. So I think there's a little bit of grace, again, because of the turnover or the change of quarterback and kind of how that's going to turn out. Maybe it's not burning all down if it's 8-4, but it's got to be better than 7-6. I think you have to be somewhere around 8-4, 9-3, something like that next year to show progress. Or the fan base is going to continue to get more and more worried about the kind of the trajectory of this program. There'll be even more, heat on that seat, I guess you could say, for Dabo Sweeney.
John Blau from the Post and Courier covering Clemson at John_Blau if you want to give him a follow. John, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Matt.
Yep, it's our pleasure. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If you ever look at a diamond and you wonder what makes a diamond, like what makes someone say, wow, that is beautiful. Like all Lee Michaels diamonds sparkle like no other. You're going to see them from across the room. That's because every diamond is hand inspected by a family member before it goes in the case. Every diamond comes from the finest diamond mines in the world. And Lee Michaels can buy at better prices because they've been buying diamonds out of India for 9 stores at a higher volume, so they get better prices. And no matter what your budget, no matter what you're going in to spend, you're always going to get the Lee Michaels experience. They are approachable. They are affordable at any price point. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, if you want to go in there and try on 1,000 different rings, be their guest at Lee Michaels. They never want you to feel pressured. They want you to understand what you're buying and have an enjoyable experience because it is a big deal. It's a diamond that is going to be in your family, hopefully for generations and passed down. That should be a memorable experience. And Lee Michaels specializes in the Lee Michaels experience. LMFJ.com. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. All right, let us after further review. LSU was on the practice field Tuesday. Afterwards, Lane Kiffin met with reporters, and he did provide an update on Sam Leavitt, but I think maybe even more importantly than the update on Sam Leavitt, which I will talk about, is his feeling on how and why the defense right now is ahead of the offense and what that may mean for the rest of spring and actually into the fall. I'll explain what I mean when we come back. We're glad you're with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking about selling your home, call Darren James and get your home sold. And understand that when you call Darren James, this is like calling the Ritz-Carlton of realtors. If you've ever or never stayed at a Ritz-Carlton, even if you haven't, if you've ever read about a Ritz-Carlton, the thing that they specialize in is the experience from the moment you walk in the door, how the doormen greet you, how the front desk operators greet you, how every staff member greets you and addresses you and approaches you, how any potential disturbance in your stay is addressed. It's all about the experience. Well, Darren James has mastered that in real estate. Darren and his team are outstanding. They make sure you not only get results, but what is commonly voted by people as one of the most stressful experiences in life, moving, he makes it an enjoyable experience. So if you need to sell your home, call Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's even kind of crazy about my farmer's tan. She's the only one who really understands what gets me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Tigers were on the practice field Tuesday. After practice, Lane Kiffin met with reporters. Obviously, the biggest storyline right now is about Sam Leavitt. And I don't think I need to explain this, but, I mean, he's your starting quarterback. He's the guy you went in the portal. You got Sam Leavitt from Arizona State. Yes, there's Landon Clark and Huson Longstreet, and you're excited about what those guys can be. Maybe Landon Clark is the new Trinidad Chambliss, or maybe there's a reason he was playing at Elon. And maybe Huson Longstreet lives up to the 5-star billing, and maybe he's the next 5-star who ends up going down in classification and whatever. I don't know. But you identified Sam Leavitt. You paid him a whole bunch of money to come here and hopefully lead your team back to the college football playoff where he already led Arizona State a couple of seasons ago. Leavitt was not at practice on Tuesday. We know that Leavitt posted on his social media about having the pins removed from his foot from the original surgery for the Lisfranc injury. Here was Lane Kiffin giving the update on Sam Leavitt.
None of these are surprise. You know, this is the timeline we expected and had the screw removed yesterday and everything went well. It was something that going into it we were going to know that it was going to be unfortunate. He was going to miss spring a lot of it, but that was going to allow the other guys opportunities. And just feel nowadays, you know, it's a little easier to play quarterback than it used to be years ago as far as how long you've been there. And look at the previous place we were at. The guy didn't get there till the summer. So, you know, kind of that went into the decision where I feel like years ago you've been really concerned that the quarterback's going to miss your spring. He's done a great job mentally in the meetings and walkthroughs and able to throw some individual before this procedure.
I do absolutely agree with one part of that. It's having Leavitt taking mental reps. Remember, it's something we learned a lot about with the VR room with Jaden Daniels in his Heisman year. Sam Leavitt can do all that. So he can get all the mental reps. He can put on the VR goggles. He can go sit there and see and visualize and experience all of that. I am also not going to minimize the importance of getting reps in this offense. By Lane Kiffin's own admission, the quarterback is like the point guard in this offense. It is imperative because you go so fast in this offense, the quarterback has to be the maestro dictating all of that. Yes, I want the quarterback getting reps, not only running this offense, but also timing and rapport with the receivers. That's now not going to happen. Kiffin was asked, So there was asked about if he'd be available for the rest of spring. Here you go.
Since he's had this little cleanup procedure, does that mean he's going to be out for the rest of the spring, or is there a potential return by the end of the spring?
Yeah, I don't think he will. He's on crutches now, but maybe.
Okay, so crutches, not likely to participate the rest of the spring, and they knew this. It was something we all talked about and were told when they first added Leavitt. They were not actually certain when they signed him, and I disclosed this at the time, and I'll reiterate it now. This is something we talked about then. They were not certain when they signed him that he would be able to participate at all in spring. Optimistically, they thought he might do some throwing, some 7-on-7, but they didn't know if he'd be able to do anything. So the fact that he was already able to participate in some throwing and actually do some on-field work for a couple of weeks is probably a little bit better than they thought was the worst-case scenario when they signed Sam Leavitt. So get him healthy. Obviously, the ambition is have him 100% go for the start of fall camp. He'll go through workouts this summer in May and June, and then at the end of July into August, he's ready for the start of fall camp. Now, that brings us to the reality of where LSU is today. So there's 7 practices in to spring. And on Saturday, there was no media availability, but they went into Tiger Stadium and scrimmaged. Lane Kiffin was asked a question about the offensive line. And I've told you this about Kiffin. I told you he's very thoughtful. And I don't mean thoughtful like as in considerate of others. I mean, he thinks a lot about his responses. He doesn't just talk. There is intentionality behind the things he says. That, as someone who, you could say I'm a professional press conference goer because I've gone to a million of these in my life in the last 25 years. You learn how coaches communicate to and through the media. Lane Kiffin always has something a message he is trying to get out no matter what your question is. So remember, the question was about the offensive line. This is a 27-second answer, and probably 21 of the 27 seconds have nothing to do with the offensive line. Play it.
Yeah, obviously a lot of new pieces there. I really like how well they've worked with the coaches. I'm excited about how they're coming along. There's a lot of work to do. If we were to play right now, which we're not, we'd be a defensive football team. That's what Saturday was obvious. Now, obviously that system's been in place. A lot of those players return comparable to the offense, but we're always going to look different every year based off of our players. We're never going to say this is just what we do. And so we may put together teams that win in different styles, and we've done that before.
The question was about the offensive line. Yeah, they're good. We're a defensive team, and it should be that way. The system's been in place, and we might have different looks because of our personnel. He didn't tell you anything about the offensive line. He told you what he wanted you to know, which is great. Just go up there and talk. Tell me what you want me to know. And it's interesting because there's parts of this defense that you love. And you don't even have Whit Weeks out there right now. But I can look and go, man, you prioritized getting Pickett and Woodland back, your 2 starting corners, and you got them both. Awesome. Tamarcus Cooley played a ton for you last year. He's back. Great. Deshaun Spears, a former 5-star who's played a lot as a freshman, more last year as a sophomore. Now looks like he's going to be your starting star linebacker. Great. Whit Weeks is back, not even going through spring. But I also look and go, man, all of your defensive ends are gone. The only interior defensive lineman that played significant snaps for you that's back is Don McKinley. And I think there's a lot of questions around him. You have real questions about your depth at linebacker, your depth at corner after the first 2 guys I just mentioned. I'm over the moon excited about Ty Benefield next to Tamarcus Cooley. But what about depth at safety? There's a lot of questions over there. But he's right in that Blake Baker's still in place. It's the same defense, schematically. All the same coaches. I know you've added Chris Kiffin. And Kyle Williams is out, but and you shifted with Sterling Lucas coming in, and Kevin Peoples is kicked down to coach the interior defensive line. But again, same verbiage, by and large, same coaches. A lot of same there. A lot of consistency there where everything is new on the offensive side. And it's interesting because I asked I asked Lane Kiffin about Baker and Chris Kiffin and their roles, because on Tuesday at practice, in the 4 individual periods we saw, Blake Baker worked with 4 different groups of people. At first, the first 5-minute period, he was just with P.J. Woodland and Aiden Andy, nickelbacks. 2 people. Blake Baker, your defensive coordinator, spent an entire period working with 2 people. And then he worked with the safeties for a period. And then he went and worked with Deshaun Spears, Aiden Hall, and C.J. Jim Coyley, star linebackers. And then he worked with the entire secondary in sort of a shell secondary period. 4 periods, 4 different groups of people he worked with. I asked Lane Kiffin why.
Chris coaches the linebackers, and so I like that allows Blake to move around and coach everybody. So I think that's gone really well. Because of the tempo, I think scrimmages are really even more valuable. You know, coaches' communications, and we have guys up in the press box and on Saturdays because of that, to work on that, because I think that's a big part of where college football has gone too, because of iPads, because of communication to a defensive player and an offensive player. We practice that a lot and work on that a lot. So Blake's communication with the staff and with the player that we select is really critical, I believe, on game day, and some things that some people put a lot of value to and some don't.
So Blake Baker is spending time with all of the different position groups, because on game day, depending on who they identify as the green dot, the one that he's going to communicate with during the game, they want him to be able to communicate with that player. So they're working with him with all these position groups throughout the entire practice, instead of in past where he was just working with the linebackers. Now he's working with everybody. I don't know if that's good, bad, right. I have no idea. We'll see. They'll play games and we'll make a decision. Well, that may be stupid. Maybe it's brilliant. I don't know. But there's intentionality behind it, why they're doing it the way they are. I've never seen that, where one coach is working with 4 different groups of players in 4 different periods. Like, I haven't seen that. Not to say nobody else does it, but I haven't seen it. We've been covering this college football team for a long time with a lot of different coaches, head coaches, coordinators, assistants, all of it. But this much I know. Go back to where Lane Kiffin said it'll be a defensive team. I don't know if they will or won't. I'm sure he would rather than be an offensive team. He's an offensive-minded coach. And I think the offense, come the opener against Clemson, is going to be light years better than they are now, and they'll have their starting quarterback, which certainly matters. But here's what I also know. If you look at the 2025 college football season, and you go look at the defensive rankings, right? Total defense. Number 1 in the country was Ohio State, 219 yards a game. Ohio State was a college football playoff team this year. Texas Tech, college football playoff team, they were number 3. Indiana won the national championship. They were number 4. This is total defense rankings, by the way. James Madison made the playoff. They were number 5. Oklahoma, playoff team, stunk on offense. Playoff team, they were number 6 in the country in total defense. Oregon made the playoff. They were number 7. Miami of Florida played for the national championship. They were 12th in total defense. 1 spot behind them was Alabama, who was 13th. Georgia was next, 14th. They made the playoff. Texas A&M, they made the playoff. They were 18th. 10 of the 12 teams that made the college football playoff were in the top 18 nationally in total defense. Let me say that again slowly. 10 of the 12 teams that made the college football playoff in 2025 were in the top 18 nationally in total defense. The 2 outliers were Ole Miss, who were 48th, and Tulane, which was 80th. And if we're being honest, respect to the Wave and all that stuff, they're not one of the 12 best teams in the country. Nobody thinks they actually deserve to be in the playoff. But the system is what it is. All that said, you need to be top 20 in the defense. You need to be top 20 in the country in defense to be a playoff team. One that has a legitimate shot of winning the national championship. Unless if there's an outlier like Ole Miss, but still they were 48th. So yes, when you look at what LSU defensively has become, the year before Blake Baker showed up, LSU was 108th nationally in total defense. Blake Baker's first year in 2024, they were 61st. They went from 108 to 61, and then last year they were 27th. 108, 61, 27. Consistency, improvement. How much more can you improve another year under Blake Baker? About to find out. But Lane Kiffin saying we're a defensive team, I believe him because they should be. Because they've been getting better there. They've been consistent there. You've retained coaches and players there. You've supplemented there with the portal. And on the offensive side, you're trying to do something completely complex and brand new with staff, players. You don't even have your starting quarterback. If your defense wasn't whipping your offense right now, I'd be concerned. The real question is, how much better can the offense get between now and when you open up against Clemson? And we're not going to have that answer until then, certainly not until you get your quarterback back. All right, it's after further review. Tuesday show is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Let me now got a quick break. New NFL head coaching rankings are out. Where does Ellen Moore fall?
Ellen Moore.
It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions, Glow Resources and glowresources.com. If you need to hire, you need Glow Resources. Best way I can say it. If you're the person in your business that's responsible for hiring, you need Glow Resources. If you're having trouble finding the person in your business that stays, that makes your business productive and efficient and more profitable, you need Glow Resources. You see, Glow Resources does about 50 interviews per day on average. That means over the course of the year, they conduct some 15,000 interviews. I don't care how many people you interview for your job, your position, your business. You're not interviewing 15,000 people. That's why this is what Glow Resources does. They know the right questions to ask to find the right people to eliminate barriers and potential issues down the line, to find the right people to make your business the most efficient and profitable it can be. You need to hire, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
after further review. Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
The Dreams Come True Radiothon, presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic, starts April 20th. Your donations help grant dreams for Louisiana children battling life-threatening illnesses. At $1,000, our purple sponsors match the donations, and at $2,000, our gold sponsors match as well. Thanks to First American Bank, Boudreaux's Electrical, along with Chad's Collision, Subaru of Baton Rouge, Lewis Mechanical, Patient Plus, and River Parish Contractors for making it all happen.
Great organization, man. Miss Becky and the squad, they do awesome stuff. If you're not familiar at all with Dreams Come True Louisiana, they're basically, I don't mean to say it this way, but they're like a local version of Make-A-Wish, right? But they just help Louisiana kids facing life-threatening or terminal illnesses have their dream come true. If it's Disney or a trip, a vacation, a sports dream, something like that. We've been partnered with them for decade, probably longer than that even, and get to meet a lot of their dream children and to meet the families is just an awesome thing. You want to talk about having a higher purpose and doing a greater good, and especially when you're talking about kids, just the best, man. So we're excited to have the Dreams Come True Radiothon back, and not a traditional radiothon like we used to do. The world's changed so much. So it'll all be online like it's been for several years. But we'll tell you more as we get closer to and through the Dreams Come True Radiothon. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. This was something that when Dennis Allen was the Saints coach, we would often do. And whenever Derek Carr was the quarterback, we would do. And not that it's anything that I think you need to marry yourself to as like, this is definitively how things are and this is the answer. It's just something to consider. We always talk about lists. We do the feigned indignance. Do you have feigned indignance on a bar? It's okay if not.
I thought I did. Hold on.
Okay, we're holding.
So I know I have it right here in my folder.
Okay, hang on. Muse has it in his folder. Paul, how are you doing today? Just going to wait. Yeah, it's all good.
And now it's time for Feigned Indignance from Sports Talk Radio Guy over random summertime sports lists.
That's a stupid bit we do to make fun of people who do lists. So all that to say, I don't care about a list. I'm not marrying myself to a list. One of the things we talked about was like when Derek Carr was always showing up on these lists as a 20-somethings grade quarterback in the NFL, be it objective or subjective metrics. It just kept telling you the story. We did the same thing with Dennis Allen when we were looking at either things like coaching's winning percentages or losing percentages and things that kept illustrating that Dennis Allen's a bad head coach. Just something to consider. So we'll do the same thing with Ellen here.
Ellen Moore.
As he continues to make his way. Patrick Daugherty at PFF, I'm sorry, Pro Football Talk, excuse me, PFT, Pro Football Talk, ranked NFL head coaches, and he's got Sean McVay number one. And by the way, this is about, it's not where they've been or a projection. It's just how do you see things now? Sean McVay number one, Andy Reid 2, Kyle Shanahan 3, Mike McDonald 4, Sean Payton 5. How about that? Jim Harbaugh is 6, Vrabel, Dan Campbell, Sirianni 9, Matt LaFleur at the Packers 10. You keep scrolling, and there's some things that are a little concerning because you see like Ben Johnson at 13 one year, Liam Cohen with the Jags 1 year, he's at 14, but then he made the playoffs. Shane Steichen at 15, Todd Bowles at 16, Zach Taylor 17. He's been to a Super Bowl. And then there you see our good friend Ellen
Moore.
18 on the list. Now, it's worth mentioning he only ranks current coaches and does not include first-year head coaches. The first-year head coaches are in a list all themselves after the ranking. But Kellen Moore is 36 years old, and he's been an NFL play caller for 6 years. And I think after one season in the NFL as a head coach and ranking Kellen Moore 18th actually is a pretty respectable spot, especially when you consider the other first-year coaches that rank ahead of him. Like you look at Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen inherited a situation in Jacksonville where he has his franchise quarterback. I mean, sunshine has been in place there. You look at Ben Johnson, who's at 13. Again, they had the number 1 overall pick in the draft, who was in his second year last year. So naturally, those two guys were in situations that were better than the one that Kellen Moore inherited. I think that's objectively true. So while it may not be anywhere like super complimentary, they still have more ahead of Dave Canales with the Panthers. They won the division this year, by the way. Dan Quinn, who was a 28-3 blown lead away from being a Super Bowl winner. Brian Schottenheimer at 21. A fellow first-year head coach in Aaron Glenn at 22, who's the one that the Saints wanted to hire. And then all the new hires. Joe Brady, Jeff Hafley, John Harbaugh with the Giants, Clint Kubiak with the Raiders, Mike LaFleur with the Cardinals, Mike McCarthy with the Steelers, Jesse Minter with the Ravens, Todd Monken getting his first crack with the Browns, Robert Saleh, who's the head coach again now with the Titans, and then Stefanski with the Falcons. So I kind of wish that they had ranked them, including the first-year head coach at the new spots, because a lot of those are guys who have been head coaches before. But even still, to have Kellen Moore kind of smack dab in the middle of the league, I think shows an awful lot of respect for the job that he did. To go 6-11 in a year where you're very much in a tear-down rebuild and had a rookie quarterback start the second half of the season, and maybe the projection, the optimistic projection, is pretty good. So again, I'm not drawing any wide-ranging conclusions to this. Like I said, just something to consider. And as this offseason goes along, we'll see more lists like this, and it'll be an interesting exercise to gather what the opinion around the NFL is of Kellen Moore, the job he did in his first season. But the first one of these that I've seen has Kellen Moore planted as the 18th best head coach in the NFL, which not a terrible spot to be in. Again, ahead of a guy like Dan Quinn, who's was 28-3 away from winning a Super Bowl. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020. You want to see 2020? Call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson and his staff, they're awesome. I speak from experience. I, for years, was told I wasn't a great candidate for LASIK, and quite honestly, I was scared of the laser. And I went and met with Dr. Blake Williamson, and he assured me LASIK is the safest elective procedure in the history of mankind. And his ability, I love the way that throughout the procedure, he calls it his vocal local, like local anesthetic or local anesthesia. The way he talks to you throughout the procedure puts you so much at ease, even beforehand. Just experience it. If you have any trepidation, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But most importantly, it's a way that you can change your life forever. To wake up in the morning and just be able to see. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, cruising along. Glad you're hanging out. Usually do Tigers and the Pros when we come back. We'll get back to some more of what Lane Kiffin had to say when he met with reporters earlier today, including a couple of freshmen that he was really hyping up. Tigers are back on the diamond tonight as they welcome in Bethune-Cookman. Good opportunity. Get some more Tigers out there and maybe cure some of those midweek woes that have ailed LSU in a lot of these midweek outings this year. We'll see how they do. All right, we'll wrap up hour number 2 with Tigers and the Pros next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark Inn, the Renaissance Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown, Renaissance Baton Rouge right there on Bluebonnet near I-10, across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Road, kind of between them. If you're driving down Bluebonnet, you can't miss Renaissance Baton Rouge. And it is a gorgeous, sprawling hotel with all the modern amenities for whatever their guests may be. And maybe more importantly, if you're thinking of hosting an event, it's a perfect spot. It's conveniently located. I mean, you know as well as I do, every bit of directions in Baton Rouge start with get on I-10. Well, great. I-10 Bluebonnet, Renaissance is right there. Convenient access to I-10 so you can get anywhere in town. Convenient for your guests coming in from out of town, and the space at Renaissance Baton Rouge is sprawling, and it's malleable to be whatever you need it to be. Allison Crump's the events coordinator, so if you're thinking of having an event, a fundraiser, an awards banquet, a dance, a wedding reception, a board meeting, Call Allison Crump today and get your event scheduled at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. Trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Wrapping up hour number dose. Glad you're bored with us here. A lot to do. Buso, Tigers of the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, you may recall early last season, Malik Neighbors tore his ACL, missed the rest of the year.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh provided an update here on Tuesday, said that Neighbors will not be on the field until, quote, into training camp, added closer to the season as well. No further update given on recovery, how that's going. Just Neighbors will not be on the field until into training camp, so maybe not even there on the first day. Obviously, wish him a healthy recovery here, and hopefully he can get back out there and dominate defenses. Grant Taylor served as an opener yesterday for the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, threw one inning. I gave up a hit, didn't walk anybody, punched out a guy, just 16 pitches, and they got him out of there. Unfortunately, the White Sox didn't win. I say unfortunately because we had them in Otterlocks yesterday. There,
although we did good in Otterlocks.
Although it was good,
the
man.
only loss.
That was the only loss.
2-1, right?
2-1. Yes, indeed. 2-1. The backdoor cover, or yeah, I will call it a backdoor cover for UConn last night. 6.5 fell 6. That was great. But Grant Taylor, opener. Grant Taylor, how about that? He was good. Maybe they should have left him in there a little.
Backdoor cover.
I mean, they were down like 11, right?
I think the backdoor cover is like a cheap cover at the end. We'll ask Otter for an official ruling. But I don't think that was a backdoor cover. I mean,
kind of cheap.
They had an opportunity with 90 seconds left to get it to 4.
Yeah.
They hit a 3, got a steal, had a layup. They missed. I wouldn't call it backdoor.
Fortunate cover from UConn last night. How about that? Huh? Paul Skeens is back on the mound today. He'll face San Diego Padres. For Skeens, 1-1 with a 9.5 ERA. He's punched out 6 so far in 5 2/3. And then Kevin Gausman, who's just been fantastic. He toes it over for the Blue Jays. No decisions, but a 0.75 ERA. No walks, 21 punch-outs so far in 2 starts. That's Tigers in the Pros.
We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems. Arco.com, 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 ARCCO, Arco.com. Industrial Generac generator power. Call Arco. Everything is turnkey. They can sell, service, install, rent that Generac industrial standby generator. These are critical backup energy solutions for the industrial sector, for your commercial building. So it's not your home. You know, like storm comes and your standby generator kicks on. That's awesome. Have one at my house. It's amazing. Would never live anywhere again without one. This is for your business. Power goes out. How does that affect your business? Well, if you have a generator for your business, you don't have to worry about it. That's Arco. And they service so much of our greater area. Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Arkansas. Check them out. Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco.com. Hour 3 after SportsCenter.
AFR.
All right, y'all. We are going to get SportsCenter here in just a minute. Love telling you about Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. And I do love telling you about Shaw Bills because I love telling you about great businesses that have been around forever. And you go to the website shawbillstire.com, you scroll down, you'll see the Customer Bill of Rights. It's something Mr. Charlie started more than 60 years ago when they opened up 1968, almost 60 years ago, when they opened up the business. Basically, things that they believe you as a customer are entitled to when you shop at Shaw Bills. Because they want you to come in and feel like you are respected and appreciated. Novel concept in the year of our Lord 2026. But at Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, they're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. But they're going to treat you so well that you're going to go back for everything you need for your vehicle forever. So log on to schedule service today or to shop tires at shawbillstire.com, shawbillstire.com. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giant star defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, a no-show for the start of the offseason training program today. Lawrence wants a new contract as well as a one-way ticket out of New York. He's requested a trade. Coach John Harbaugh told reporters he thinks the team will be able to work out a solution to keep Lawrence on the roster. If not, the Giants' phones will be busy, notes ESPN's Adam Schefter.
I don't think they're going to want to trade him, but they're going to be in a tough spot, and we'll see how they decide to handle it. Because obviously, I don't think he would have gone public with that if he wasn't kind of at the end of his rope. And I can tell you this, I do know that there are teams plotting it out already and circling to see whether there's a way that they'd be able to pry him loose from New York.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. North Carolina is set to pay new men's head basketball coach Michael Malone a yearly average of over $8.3 million across a 6-year contract, putting him among the top 5 highest paid coaches in the sport. NBA, LeBron James, foot soreness out for the Lakers versus the Thunder tonight. LA's already without the injured Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. OKC's Jalen Williams won't play due to hamstring injury management.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
So good. He is our bud. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Tybers Hurts sent me a text and said, so with Michael Malone out of the picture, who do you see coaching the Pelicans? As we established yesterday, it's post Malone.
It's not. It's not his name.
That's what those of us who know him best call him.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yes.
And you would have no way of knowing that because you've never met Michael Malone.
Post.
No, Michael.
Post.
Mike for short.
Nope.
NBA champion.
Nobody calls him Mike.
A lot of people do.
Nope. Not those that know him best. We call him Post.
He's gonna be playing Tiger Stadium in May.
No. That's a different Post Malone.
That's a different Post Malone.
Different guy. Not the same guy.
Not the same
that
guy.
guy has tattoos all over his face.
He
I've
does.
seen him, but he's not my good friend, Michael, aka Post Malone.
No, that's not what anybody calls him.
I don't know who's going to coach the Pelicans. You got a thought? Who do you want to coach the Pels?
I don't have a thought. I'm gonna be honest with you. No,
Please don't lie to me.
I don't. I mean,
Paul, who do you want to coach the Pels?
I'm the same. I got no thoughts. Somebody good, please.
Who would be somebody good?
Anybody better than what we got now.
I actually disagree with you. I think James Borrego would be really encouraging. I think he's a young guy. defensive-minded. They actually played hard for him. Zion stayed healthy and played the most games of his career, which is stunning.
Stunning that he stayed healthy, or stunning that this was the most games of his career?
Both.
Both?
I think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
So I would not be opposed to James Borrego getting shot. And, you typically go one of two ways. You either give the first-time head coach a shot, or you go the retread route. Well, who's the retread you want? Now, Michael Malone was interesting, a.k.a. Post.
Mike.
Because he's won an NBA championship. I did so, obviously, with a dominant big who's a multi-time MVP. I don't hate the idea of Borrego, but what I think is going to happen, I don't know who they're going to hire, but you brought in Joe Dumars, and he's going to want to hire his own coach. He's not just going to want to promote the guy that was already here from the previous regime. He's going to want to hire his own coach. So sometimes that's to the detriment of your organization. I asked AI. They do mention James Borrego.
There we go.
They mentioned Darvin Ham. Kevin Ollie. Remember Kevin Ollie? Won a natty with UConn. Jamal Mosley. Noted for elevating the Orlando Magic through defense. And Post Malone.
And Mike Malone.
And then they mentioned Mike Budenholzer, Taylor Jenkins, Frank Vogel. I'm like, you want to go down the retread route? There you go. Go down the Stan Van Gundy retread route again. Who's going to get you excited?
That's the thing, man, right? Because, I mean, you did the retread with Van Gundy. You did kind of the young up-and-coming guy with Willie Green.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to pinpoint because you've seen him go both routes here recently, and it hasn't gone well.
Or maybe they could hire Post Malone, like the singer Post Malone. You want to go about selling tickets? Let Post Malone do like the halftime entertainment. Actually, I wouldn't even do that. I would hire DJ Jubilee.
There you go.
And let him do the halftime entertainment.
He does the halftime entertainment a lot of the time, though, right?
Well, he did it once when I was there.
You were there?
For it was the playoff game. It was game 3 against the Dubs. What year was that? 2018.
Playoffs, man.
Those are fun.
Those are a lot of fun.
Playoffs are fun. You know what's not fun? Your team's stinking.
Yeah.
And never making the playoffs ever. But if Zion's healthy, they hit in the draft. Boy, it would be nice if you had top 10 protected your friggin' draft pick this year, you losers. Well, you're a terrible organization. Anyway, we've met our quote for Pels Talks, and most of you don't care. We are brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Of course, the Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics, the great physicians at the Lake take care of the fighting Tigers, but they also take care of everyday champions like you and me. And one thing that from the very first conversation I ever had with the folks at the Lake, they stressed with healthcare, the two things primarily people want are access and convenience. Access and convenience. Think about it. You want access and you want convenience when you need to see a doctor, when you need a specialist. And at the Lake, they keep that at the forefront of everything they do. If it's specialized care for heart, stroke, pediatrics, whatever it may be, cancer, Our Lady of the Lake can help. If it's for everyday care, Our Lady of the Lake. Championship Health Partner of LSU Athletics. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. It is after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. The other, real quickly, and when we in the next segment, I'll circle back to some of what Lane Kiffin had to say, because there's another position group he talked about today that I want to highlight. We'll do that here in about 5 minutes or so. Jeremy Fall, a Master P. He resigned his job at UNO. He's available. Business mogul. Had a stint in professional basketball.
Yep. Another one who could double as head coach and halftime entertainment.
Maybe the entire staff could be like Master P, Silk the Shaka. Is he in prison?
I don't think he is. Mystical is, but I don't.
Mystical in prison?
Yeah, I don't think Silk the Shaka is in prison.
Did you just imprison Mystical?
No, I'm pretty sure he's in jail, man.
Look up Silk the Shaka. DJ Jubilee. We get Choppa. I mean, just get all
Chop
the
would
NOLA
be
bounce
good.
guys and let them sit on the bench, and they take turns doing the halftime performance. You want to sell some tickets? Hey, Mrs. B, you're welcome. We're just handing out free ideas here, free advice. And then I got this from Preston, who said, Matt, any whispers to what fans have donated to the baseball NIL fund? Seems to be going bonkers on X. Okay. Oh, Andrew Bayer said Mystical lives in Prairieville. See, I think you imprisoned Mystical around.
I'm going to check because I'm pretty sure he.
Please look that up. I think you mistakenly imprisoned Mystical. I think Silk the Shaka is the one that's in prison.
No. Mystical's in jail currently.
Are you sure he's presently in prison?
Rapper Mystical, real name Michael Tyler, is currently in jail awaiting sentences after pleading guilty in March 2026.
26 recently? That was a month ago.
To third-degree rape stemming from a 2022 Louisiana arrest.
So he's not. So, but that was just a month ago.
He was arrested in 2022, and he's currently in jail awaiting sentencing because he pleaded guilty last month. Like, he's been in jail.
He's been in jail 4 years.
Yeah.
What about Silk the Shaka? Look him up.
No, he's doing marketing. That's what I looked up first.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Silk.
Silk?
Silk is doing. Here you go. Business side of entertainment, vice president of marketing and production for Surge City Entertainment and STS Productions.
Is Surge City Entertainment? That's not Surge. Drew Brees' Surge.
It doesn't say. I'd have to Google that too. I mean, it doesn't say there.
Okay. All right. We're figuring it all out. All right, it's after further review. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I think we all got dumber listening to that segment.
I think it is Drew Brees' deal.
Really?
Yeah. You type in Surge City Entertainment, the first thing that comes up is Surge Entertainment, and Drew Brees by Drew Brees.
Surge or Surge City Entertainment, they different things. I don't want to erroneously compare these two here. If that's wrong, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it, maybe. I do have a thought on the the baseball funding NIL thing. That's a few people have sent it to me on social. It is certainly not spreading like wildfire, like that person suggests, and I certainly don't think that crowdfunding is going to work. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I'll tell you why. Let me stay on time. I'll come back. I'll explain. I do want to let you hear a little more from Lane Kiffin. LSU baseball lineup will be posted a little later this hour. We'll go through it as Tigers will take on Bethune-Cookman. We'll get to all that. We're glad you're here. It is AFR.
After further review.
One person who certainly has been very generous when it comes to donating to LSU and NIL has been Gordon McKernan. Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. And most importantly right now, it's a time of year where I get to remind you about the Gordon Gives a laptop giveaway for Gordon's grads. So, different URL. Go to gordonsgrads.com. Gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. Gordon is giving away laptops, MacBooks to graduating high school seniors in Louisiana that are going off to either a 2-year, 4-year college, or trade school to help in that transition in the next phase of your life. An awesome thing that Gordon does. Another way he gives back to the communities that he serves. So if you are a graduating high school senior or have one in your family or know one, make sure they know. Send them the link to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com, how they can enter to win one of those laptops or MacBooks. Get Gordon, get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't into cars or pickup trucks, but if it runs like a deer, man, her eyes light up. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Big shout out to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Bunkie and below, you want a Deere, you're going to Sunshine. Sunequip.com. Sunequip.com. Jay Johnson is not who we're going to talk about right now. Lane Kiffin was asked earlier today about freshman defensive lineman Richard Anderson, if he can make an immediate impact for the defense in 2026.
Yeah, I do. We're not very deep defensive line. So it was really important to bring in portal guys, but then also, sign the high school guys that we did. And so there's very high expectations for him and the others.
That is an extreme moment of candor. Not saying that, I think Richard Anderson can make an immediate impact as a freshman, but saying we're not very deep right there. For a roster that was built via the portal and added more than 40 players, to not be very deep at defensive tackle feels like a little bit of a miss. But as I sort of evaluate it, it kind of feels like the entire defense is very top heavy. I'll explain a little more what I mean here in a second, but one more from Kiffin on Richard Anderson.
Phenomenal prospect. This guy's going to be a great player. It's just a matter of time to when that happens. And love how physical he is, love how hard he's worked early. Again, these guys really are seniors in high school. We just, over time, have changed their enrollment, for so many guys to come early. So he's doing a great job. Got a little banged up and played through it Saturday, which was good. So we're really excited about him. Very well coached.
I was doing an interview earlier today with Crane and Cone. It's Jake and Blaine Crane and David Cone. I think it's going to drop tomorrow. But we ventured into this conversation about the defense, and while LSU prioritized returning 3 players defensively, Witt, Pickett, and Woodland were the 3 they prioritized on the defensive side. Got them all back. You look at the defensive side of the ball, and there's a lot to be excited about as far as returning players and newcomers, right? We just mentioned Witt. That's exciting. TJ Dottery led the SEC in tackles. That's exciting. Pickett and Woodland both back. Great. Ty Benefield at safety coming in. Tamarcus Cooley coming back. Really good. But I also look and go, how do you feel about your linebacker depth after Weeks and Daugherty? Devon Keys is there. Had 88 tackles a year ago. But are you really confident in his ability as an every down linebacker? Maybe he continues to grow and develop, but it's a question. But after Keys, then what? Same at cornerback. I mean, you feel really good about your first two guys. And you could throw Jakeem Jackson there, very highly touted prospect, but injuries have really slowed his career. But then you go, okay, I mean, is Michael Turner your answer next? Aiden Anding? You're thin. And then at safety, look, Benefield and Cooley are your starters. Yeah, Deshaun Spears is your star. Maybe Spears could kick back and play safety if you need him there. But after that, you're talking about a guy like Fahim Delane or Aiden Hall, a true freshman, early enrollee. You know what I mean? So, like, you don't have great – you have, I think, really good frontline players at all levels defensively. What you don't necessarily have is depth across the board defensively. And then you look at the defensive line, and that whole thing is made over. Now, you got Prince William Onmielen and Jordan Ross starting at end. The Relaford injury certainly is just really tough. But on the interior, the only impactful guy who's back at defensive tackle is Dominic McKinley. Now, he's a former five-star, and we're all hoping he hits this boom in year 3, right? By Dom's own admission, we came to LSU, big, giant prospect at 6'6", over 300 pounds, and you look at him and you go, God, he's a monster. But he had to learn technique and learn how to play. I mean, in high school, he's ragdolling offensive linemen who look like me. You get to college, and now you have dudes your own size, and you have to rely more on technique. And so for McKinley, I think that's been a progression. But he's it. And so much of that is because of the turnover you've had from Bo Davis and Kyle Williams before them with your defensive line coaches. So, Bernard Gooden is gone. Jacobian Guillory's gone. So you return Dom McKinley. But after that, you had to go in the portal and add Blockton and Stephylan Green. But next, I mean, we have gone out there to practice every time they've let us. In the 11-on-11 period we see, I mean, Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson are taking reps with the ones. Geralds was out there again today. And all the practices we've been to, and they've practiced 7 times. We've gotten to see 6 of them. There's been one practice where Geralds wasn't with the ones in that quick 6 period we watched. It was McKinley and Blockton were the ones that day. But Geralds was back there today with the ones. So all that to say, I think Lane Kiffin, in a moment of candor there, is right. That you can be really excited about Richard Anderson and Deuce Geralds and these freshman defensive linemen, and you could also be a little apprehensive about your lack of depth. Because across that front, I mean, even when you look at your starters, now Prince William Onmielen, this is now his 3rd stop in college. He's played a ton. He's got the skins on the wall. Jordan Ross was a 5-star. I mean, he was a top 10 overall player in the country when he signed with Tennessee, but he's a backup for 2 years at Tennessee. Is he ready to be an every down player? And then after that, you're talking about some program guys, especially with Gabe Relaford's injury. Dylan Carpenter, Kalash Cobbins. All that to say, I really am confident in LSU's frontline defenders. I think there's a giant question mark in all 3 levels at who's next. You got talented guys, highly recruited, regarded, all that stuff, but not a lot of experience as far as depth at any of the 3 levels. It's going to be a giant question for the defense this year. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, you can always get by Rouse's.com or check out the Rouse's social media. Facebook, Instagram is a great resource. Today's Tuesday. It's $5 sushi every Tuesday over at Rouse's. So maybe you're feeling like Asian for dinner tonight. Swing on into Rouse's and grab the already pre-made sushi. Everyone get their own favorite roll. Maybe you like California. Maybe it's tempura, or maybe it's tuna, or whatever your favorite is. They got you covered over at Rouse's. Grab and go. Please the entire family. Still got crawfish. Easter's behind us, but still crawfish season, y'all. So get on by Rouse's. Grab your crawfish, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Today, Tuesday, The hot bar menu, black pepper steak, honey chicken, fried rice, seafood, rangoon, egg rolls, vegetable lo mein, white rice, and cobbler. Check it out at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. So one of the things I told you I wanted to circle back to is I had a message via the text line asking, I want to read it to you again just real quick. It was, where is it? Here it was from Preston, who said, any whispers to what fans have donated to the baseball NIL fund seems to be going bonkers on X. So there's a post, and several of you sent it to me, and it was about basically encouraging baseball fans to go join the coaches committee and donate to baseball NIL. And some people did some back of the napkin math. You know, if 400,000 people gave, I think one I saw someone sent me, it was like if 400,000 people spent $10 a month, that's, you know, 4 million or whatever. That's not realistic. And I don't mean to be the wet blanket on the fire. But you put 100,000 people in Tiger Stadium. You're never going to 4X that number of people that are going to give to baseball. It's just not realistic. I think optimistically, if you can get 10% of your ardent fans to give, that's a good thing. That's a good number. I think as far as crowdfunding, I know this. The school that did it the best in the old collective days was Ole Miss. Ole Miss had a very specific ask, and the way that they were attractive to tens of thousands of donors in the, $50, $100 a month range, where they could do recurring gifts of $20, $50, $100, which, let's be honest, that's the masses, which someone might be able to do. And in numbers, if you appeal to your base and your masses, you could have some success, but it's not nearly the number that you're thinking that would be enough to float and support an entire athletic program. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't give. I'm just saying the napkin math a lot of people are doing is just not realistic. The biggest missed opportunity for fundraising is the $25,000 to $100,000 donor. Because there are way more of those than seven-figure donors. Now, it's easier if you're a fundraiser to identify the seven-figure donor and go to a lunch and get $1 million check. I mean, that's a big lick in one lunch. That's way easier than having to go convince 10 people to give you $100,000, right? To equal that $1 million. But there's way more numbers of the $25,000 to $100,000 donors that if LSU could engage, I think with a specific ask, is a real opportunity. Now, by the way, I don't think folks at LSU are listening to the show right now and taking notes. I don't think they're asking me for my opinion. Now, I've had a lot of these conversations with folks at LSU and with boosters and with administrators and all kinds of people because it interests me and it is something we talk about a good bit. But I think what I will continue to say and what I have said repeatedly is that we are entering into an era where if you were supporting the athletic department solely on ticket sales and donor dollars is not realistic. It's not. What LSU just did for the football program in this offseason, appealing to their donors to get this massive amount of committed dollars to buy this roster, you can't do it every year. Hopefully you don't have to. Or hopefully you don't have to go spend more than $40 million on a football roster every year. But it's also not realistic to do year after year after. They did it once. It's not to say they won't raise any money next year, but to think you're going to do that every year is not realistic. They capitalized on a giant tidal wave with Lane Kiffin coming in. So the thing I've said over and over again is you've got to find new creative revenue streams. We've talked about a bunch of them here. We've talked about putting Venture Global on the football field. We've talked about the Woodside Energy jersey patches, both things that I highly endorsed here because you got to get out of your feelings if you want to win. And so do good deals with good partners that can generate new revenue streams and help you win. It's the give and take. So those types of things, those new revenue streams, that's what LSU has to keep what everybody has to keep tapping into. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but you have people every day that are hard at work. And the other complicating factor is you have so many entities that are all asking. You've got NILSU, Max. You've got TAF. You've got the LSU Foundation. You have the Alumni Association. You have the Collective. You have so many different entities that are all asking and pulling from the same donor base. And so that's really challenging when you start to stretch the donor dollar across a lot of different organizations. So what's most important? I don't know that. It's not for me to decide. I don't run that organization. They can do it. But it's why I keep saying you can't just solely rely on increasing ticket prices because eventually you get to a breaking point with your fan base. You can't just keep going up on ticket prices forever. And you can't just keep going and milking the same donors for dollars. So it's about new, creative revenue streams. And that's what's going to be fascinating to see in the next 3, 6, 12, 24 months. All right, it's after further review. Speaking of baseball, Tigers, they're back on the diamond tonight against Bethune-Cookman. We'll wait and see the lineups posted. We'll run through it when it is. Give you a preview of that. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. Good night last night. Otter was 3-1 or 4-1? We had three baseball picks in the basketball.
3-1, yep.
It's a 3-1 night for the Otter last night. If you use that boost on the basketball game with UConn, you hit. It's exciting. Find out what the Otters got in here about 15 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
REV. Let's rev. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Talking about your internet service provider for your home, for your business, cable, phone, home automation, security. Rev does it all. They're backed by an all-fiber network, which I love. Cables are buried under the ground, which means storm comes, power lines fall, branches fall on power lines. Doesn't affect you any. It's all buried under the ground. That's when we made our switch, when they came in, Rev came and installed fiber, buried the fiber cables in our neighborhood. We are thrilled with the level of service and the quality of the product. You will be also, especially if you're a business owner. Look at Parish Construction Roofing. We're Rev customers. Guarantee Media. We're Rev customers. Maybe you could save money in your business every month by reducing your bill on all your internet providers. Let's rev.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She likes the way it's pulling while we're tilling up her land. She's even kind of crazy about my farmers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're a good team. I watched some of them today. They are a team that is going to win a lot of games, and so because of that, that's important. We have some work to do in the RPI, and this game is actually going to help us if we play well in it.
Jay Johnson talking about Tuesday night's game against Bethune-Cookman out at Alec Box Stadium. We're a little less than an hour away from first pitch. Waiting on the lineup to be posted. If it is before we get out of here, we'll run through it. As of right now, it has not been posted, but Bethune-Cookman is, they're a good SWAC team. They're 22-10. LSU's 22-11 on the season. They're 10-2 in the SWAC. So they swept Southern this past weekend, batting .288 on the season, just 16 homers, so not really a threat of the long ball. And their staff ERA is north of 4. But when you're talking about an SEC school against a SWAC school, you're talking about just a giant gap as far as talent. So you would hope this would be a game where LSU could go out, play its game, get a lot of guys some work, and get a little feel good before you hit the road for your series against a scuffling Ole Miss team. I will say that maybe the biggest question has been with Eddie Yaman, or what you do at first base with the struggles that Zach York has had. And I don't listen. I'm right there aligned with all of you. I mean, was it 4 weeks ago, when we talked about Omar Cerna needing to be in the everyday lineup. My point then was, if your transfers aren't performing and you have these extremely talented young players with a super high ceiling, get those guys work to see how close they can get to their ceiling with the experience. And did the same thing at second, right, whenever Dardar was struggling. And so they tried Ruckert there, kicked a few balls. And so now Dardar went in last weekend, hit 600 for the weekend against Kentucky, and earned more playing time. York, and I don't mean to just single out York, because there's a lot of guys at various times that have struggled. But that's a guy that is hitting, I think, 147 in SEC play. It's not been good. And defensively, he's been a liability as well. And every defensive miscue magnifies the offensive struggles, and every offensive struggle, pop-up or strikeout, magnifies the defensive miscues. The question is, do you have a better option at first? I would like to see Braun play first. I would like to see him get a weekend where you say, hey, freshman, get out there and let's see what it looks like with 12 to 15 at-bats over the course of 3 games. Smack dab in the middle of SEC play, that may not be the ideal situation to try it, and it may not go great. But maybe it does. That would be my preference. I know coming off this weekend, there's a lot of people that want to see Eddie Yaman play more. By the way, which is weird because I know he's on the roster as Edward Yaman IV. But when he transferred in from Dayton, everyone called him Eddie Yaman. Like that was, but now he's at, I don't know if he's going by Edward. I guess he's going by Edward, whatever. Yaman. But Yaman has been limited at bats this season, but inconsistent. The 2 hits he had on Sunday were his first 2 hits in conference play this year. Hadn't had a hit since the Creighton game. So I don't know that I'm looking at Yaman going, yep, that's the answer. And I don't know, quite honestly, where you'd put him. A lot of people would suggest let him catch and you DH Cerna or Aaron Beatty. My point is I don't know how you take Cerna or Aaron Beatty out of the lineup at this point. So if Yaman can play first, and when he came here, it was catcher first, third. He's a quarter infielder and could catch. So maybe Yaman at first is a good option. He's got, it's what, 6'4", 6'5". Maybe he can stretch, gives you a long target at first base for your infielders to throw as well. Maybe that's an option there. Would get you a right-handed bat in the lineup if you're facing a lefty. I still think of all those players, Braun is the highest ceiling guy that I'd probably like to see. And I think something you're probably going to hear me talk about a good bit between now and in July is focusing on your young players that you've recruited, that you invested the resources in recruiting to LSU, instead of letting those young guys leave after a year and then relying on transfers to try to supplement your entire roster. Because the conversation we were just having about money and resources for baseball and all that stuff, that gets magnified if you feel like you have to go buy 4 or 5 starters. I would rather you go add a couple, 1 or 2 real impact guys and then maybe some depth pieces, but really focus on roster retention because you've worked so hard to recruit these guys out of high school and get them here anyway. So just a thought, something we'll talk much more about, no doubt, as the days and weeks go along. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVA-MOR, Evermore.com. Drink Evermore natural artesian water. It's a healthier alternative right out of that natural artesian well on the North Shore. They actually built the bottling plant around the well. So if you drive to Evermore Air in Covington, you turn into the facility. I mean, you see the well right there when you drive in. So we're talking about these ancient underground aquifer. It is Mother Nature's masterpiece. So I challenge you all the time, if you drink another brand of bottled water, grab that bottle, do a side-by-side taste test with Evermore, and then look at the label. A lot of times you'll see with other bottles, such and such added for flavor. You're not drinking a natural, pure product. You don't have to worry about that with Evermore. You want to find where you can buy Evermore, you can go to the website, the menu, you can find a store, punch in your zip code. It'll tell you the store nearest you that sells Evermore. You could buy it online as well at evermore.com, EVA-MOR. Evermore.com is a buy now tab at the top right. Evermore.com, if you want to buy it online, you can do it there as well. EVA-MOR, Louisiana product by Evermore. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you have you hanging out with us here. We missed Shea earlier today, and nobody's heard from him. I kind of feel like, do you have the chung-chung sound effect? Oh, dang it.
Not on the bar, but I have it in here.
What was that show?
Law and Order.
Law and Order. Is that a detective show?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we need the Law and Order sound effect. Where is Shay Dixon? The normally reliable reporter from On 3 the Bengal Tiger visits with Matt Moscona on After Further Review Tuesdays at 3:15. However, on this day, Shea was nowhere to be found. Didn't answer his phone. Didn't respond to multiple text messages. Nobody has heard from him. Shea has been absent on Twitter. Shea hasn't eaten food. Is Shea in the bathroom? What happened to Shay Dixon? His last tweet was 6 hours ago. Next on Law & Order. Law & Order LSU. Where is Shay Dixon? Is that how it goes?
I like the Law and Order LSU. That's
you
good.
Like SVU?
SVU.
See
and
what
all,
LSU?
yeah,
See what I did?
I like it. I
See what I
like
did?
that one. Here we go.
Okay.
I like that one. That was good.
Next on Law & Order LSU. I mean, is that? Oh, it's a timeout. I was looking at the computer screen. I'm like, is that Shay joining right now? That's like, it's a timeout on the
Dude,
thing.
that would have been wild. Like, hey, Shay, it's 5:45, man. Thanks, but we'll catch you tomorrow. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Shay, how disappointing. I mean, it's just every Tuesday at 3:15.
Oh, he's normally he's normally in early.
I hope he's okay.
For real, yeah.
For real. Okay. Jimmy's next for Otterlocks. Stay here.
AFR.
Man, I popped into Goodwood earlier today, and they have a stem wave machine, which is pretty incredible. It sends an electromagnetic wave into your body, and it basically tricks the body into thinking it's been injured. And so it recruits blood and other healing elements to that area. So I've been using this I did my second treatment today for my back. And it's pretty remarkable because I think Muse and Paulie would tell you, yesterday I walked in here, wasn't feeling super great. Kind of got me up and moving today. So I'm going to go back again on Thursday and get a third treatment. They recommend 6 treatments or so in a consolidated time frame. But another way that at Goodwood they help you feel your best. Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for HRT. YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Blau McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover.
If you're stuck in traffic trying to leave work, you need to call River Parish Contractors because they have jobs on both sides of the river. And I have heard the horror stories of people on the west side of the river trying to get back to the East Bank. But it doesn't matter. Plaquemine, Donaldsonville, or in Geismar. Also, the shop in Reserve is a 32,000 square foot shop where you don't ever have to worry about rainouts. You can get overtime, and there's zero traffic. Look, River Parish Contractors was just awarded 4 huge jobs. And so they are hiring. If you're interested, it's not one of those situations where you're going to work for 2 weeks and they got to lay you off. No. They keep you busy. They offer great benefits as well. rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Hit the Apply Now tab at the top. rpcontractors.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
You, Otter.
What's going on, Matthew?
Would you say that UConn was a backdoor cover last night?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't necessarily apply to basketball as much because there's so much back and forth. But I mean, if there is a kind of, yeah. I mean,
you said backdoor cover. I pushed against it. I was like, backdoor cover would be like if you're down one or you're down, you're down 18. And then as the clock's running out, you decide to do a breakaway uncontested jam. Like that's a backdoor cover.
Yeah, I've never heard backdoor cover applied to basketball, actually. But, for instance, in football, it is an insignificant score that has no bearing on the game that, that covers the spread.
That's like what I just talked about. If there was like a breakaway jam with no time left and you're down 18.
Yes, something like that. When I guess the best case of that would be Final Four, UConn and Duke, and Chris Duhon down 4. It's a half-court shot at the buzzer to go. So
good. Yeah. Duhon from Slidell, right?
That was my wedding day. So anyway, So anyway, so it was a 50-50 game. I mean, it was Michigan hit 20 straight free throws, and then they missed 2 at the end. But this time AJ Caravan, he could not hit the long 3 to cut it to 1 with less than a minute to go. So against Duke, they did. But man, let's face it, that is defense, and length. I mean, that is a tough defensive team in Michigan, and well-deserved of the national championship.
Yeah.
So, very, but Duke may have been a tougher game, but Duke showed their youth in that meltdown in the regional finals. So best team won, but boy, UConn, and I think we were talking about it on this show. I think Mr. Hurley, who can be tough to like, to put it mildly, may have learned something watching his colleague in the women's side over the weekend, because he was very, very classy, very humble, very good. He was I saw probably the best side I've ever saw of him last night. He said, man, what can I ask more of my team? We had 22 offensive rebounds. We defended like heck. I mean, they played as hard as they could. They really did. And that's a well-coached team, man. And that's the good side of him. If we could just get through his shenanigans and just respect the brilliant coach that he is, because he is very, very good.
No doubt. All right, we got 3 in MLB. All 3 of them are underway. Yep. You want to roll through it?
So the Pirates, both Ace, Seminara, and we got Skeens. Skeens went through 3 up, 3 down in the first, including 2 strikeouts. Including Tatis, we fell behind 3-0 and came back to strike him out on the next 3 pitches. So Skeens is 3 up, 3 down. No score. Bottom of the first, 1 out, nobody on. So that those odds should be fairly close.
It's minus $1.64. You still like it?
Yeah, I'd play it.
Okay.
I'd play it. Okay. Then we're going to go to the Red Sox and Brewers. Red Sox, no Musso knows this, but they have been one of the bigger disappointments in baseball so far. I really like their roster this year, but 2-8, and one of the problems is one of the biggest the biggest locks on the team and that's Ocean Springs, Crochet, Garrett Crochet, rather.
Mm-hmm.
The big left-hander, he has not been pitching that great so far. So Mizorowski, the young stud for the Brewers, on the road tonight. Boston blew a lead last night. We're looking at Milwaukee plus some odds against Crochet, who's not quite deserving of those lofty odds.
It's up to plus $1.49 right now, the bottom of the first with nobody out.
Let's do it. I would still say that one. And then Cardinals
1
Nationals,
minute remaining.
No score, 2 on, 1 out.
Cardinals are up 1-0.
Nationals, what's that?
Cardinals are up 1-0.
Yeah, well, there we go. So we got the over in that one. Over 7, it's got to be like 7.5 or 8.
8.5.
So, yeah, I wouldn't. No. So you didn't get on that one. Sorry. So, but got to get on these early ones because they are a lot of them are starting at 5:40. But anyway, we do have the Nationals scored a lot of runs again last night. 9-6 was the final last night. And so we're going to take the over with the surprising national bat so far this season.
Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Modesto on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
Very good. Thanks, Otter.
All right, good luck.
All right, see you, man. That'll do it for us here. Thanks to our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Miss anything, catch AFR on demand, presented by Breck Golf. Muse Polly, thanks. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. We are 8 days away from tax day. Dom, dom, dom. Hey, it's actually a great opportunity to remind you that there's a lot of potential tax benefits to owning land. As a landowner, you will incur expenses. Could be tax deductible. So ask your CPA the benefits of owning recreational timber land. It could help you next year at this time when tax season rolls around. Of course, land's a finite resource. They ain't making more of it. Never going down in value. Columbus ain't sailing the ocean blue again. He's been dead for like 500 years. Maybe more than that. 600 years. A lot of years. I don't know when he died. FirstSouthland.com.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts, provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. You will have your pool in no time.